Hello, everyone. This is Sir Monch, and in this lecture video, I'm going to talk about the digital self, particularly how to navigate the digital space. Um, as usual, we begin this lecture with a series of prior learning questions to enable you to, have your prior learning activated. So first we have this question, what is digital identity and how it differs from our physical or, regular identity or offline identity? How do individuals form digital identities? Can you provide some examples of platforms or activities that contribute to the formation of our digital identity? What are some challenges and risks associated with digital identity? And what do we mean by digital literacy? Is it important? And what components or what competencies are part of that literacy domain? Can you provide examples of strategies or tools that can help individuals manage and protect their digital identity? And lastly, what role should educational institutions play in fostering digital literacy and responsible digital identity management among college students? So this is the outline of the presentation to help you guide the flow of the lecture. We'll have a little bit about the concept of the self in the digital age, also the formation of digital identity, challenges and risks, digital literacy, and other related topics. So let's go to the concept of self, in the digital age. Um, let's define first what we mean by self-concept. When we say self-concept, it refers to your idea or your perception of who you are, your own identity, including your traits, abilities, and values. Usually, when we have self-concept statements or statements of who we are, our points of references are our physical characteristics, no? Let's say when you say I am tall, I am beautiful, I am handsome, I wear these clothes, I have these things with me, etc. So usually the references are the physical self or the material self, no? And oftentimes there are also instances where the point of reference for self-concept is your soji, no? So many people would say in the process of generating self-concept statements is they would say, I'm a boy, I am attracted to this and that, I am in a relationship with this and that, and these are my values, etc. when it comes to relationships, etc. No? Now, with the advent of social media and online interactions, our self-concept can be based on the way we present ourselves and interact with others online. So we have changes now in our self-concept because our self-concept obviously expands with the age of, digital advancement. So aside from having a self-concept based on our physical self, sexual self, material self, and spiritual self, and other aspects of self, with the advent of social media, we now have our digital identity that is, presented in the virtual space. Now, positive online interactions, for example, the way we get likes and comments in our social media pages, tend to boost our self-confidence and self-esteem, no? We get validations from our physical self, validations of our spiritual self, no? When someone posts, let's say, biblical quotes, no? And the person gets likes and comments, So the person tends to be validated, no, in terms of that aspect of their self-concept. However, the constant exposure to curated and idealized versions of other people's lives can lead to feelings of inadequacy, envy, and even depression. No? So in this sense, our digital self or the our online persona can be both fragile and malleable, subject to the whims of our online experiences. In the digital age, it's common for individuals to have this virtual self or virtual identity. We call this our online personas that differ from our real life selves, no? So this is a very interesting observation that you can make, no? That there are a lot of people who would have an online persona that tends to differ from their actual or real self concept, no? So the person may be ang iyang spiritual self is dili religious pero pag abot sa social media, pag abot sa iyang online persona very religious, no? Or let's say in terms of the physical self, no, the person may not really be, may not really have that fine skin, pero tungod sa filters, etc., ang iyang online persona, no, ang iyang physical identity sa digital space is hamis puti or whatever, no? Now, these personas can range from subtle alterations of one's personality to entirely new identities. No, there are people who would um who would put up an entirely different person or an entirely different persona, entirely different from who the person is in reality. No, now, the motivations or the reasons of many people for doing this is very often they have a desire to explore new aspects of oneself, no? And also they like to connect with like-minded individuals and also escape from the pressures and expectations of the online world, of the offline world, I mean. So while online personas can provide a creative outlet and a means of self-expression, they really can lead to confusion and dissonance between our online and offline selves. And the struggle to reconcile our virtual self with our real self can result in feelings of uncertainty and anxiety about who we truly are. And moreover, the pressure to maintain a consistent online persona can be very demanding and can lead to questions of our authenticity. Like, are we even real anymore? No? So, authentic pa ba, pure pa ba, katuuhan pa ba, kung unsay naa makita sa imong digital space, no? Or ang imong online persona, is it really you ba? Or mga tinuod pa ba ta ng mga tao? Or we are faking everyone else? So that's the problem, no? And as I mentioned, that problem tends to happen really because there's a pressure to maintain, no, a certain kind of online persona. And it's up to the person to really present an authentic self. No? Kung unsa jud siya, ang unsa iyang physical self, unsa ang iyang material self, unsa ang iyang spiritual self, etc. Now, let's talk about the formation of digital identity. Digital identity refers to the collection of information, attributes, and online activities associated with an individual. That includes your social media profiles, no, daghan kaayo, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, etc. Online presence across various platforms, digital footprints left by online behavior, and personal branding efforts. In essence, our digital identity is your overall representation in the digital world. And these are the components of digital identity, compositions of your digital identity. You have online presence, digital footprints, and personal branding. Online presence encompasses an individual's visibility and activities across various online platforms. And that also includes the content that you share, no? Videos, photos, and even, yeah, videos and photos and blogs at some point. Digital footprints refer to the trail of data that we leave behind as we interact online. So when you open your Google Chrome, so you will have there your search history, your Lazada and Shopee applications. You can see there your history of online purchases, no? Or even in Facebook, the history of advertisements that you were able to click, no? That you were swayed to click. These are valuable in shaping a person's digital identity as they provide insight into their interests and online behavior. And lastly, personal branding. That is the intentional process of creating and maintaining a consistent self-image. So, di ba, we have this kind of brand that we maintain that is the consistency of our online persona, no? So that involves curating one's online presence, showcasing one's skills and expertise, and positioning oneself as an influencer in a specific field, no? Or not necessarily an influencer, just by, for example, coming up with, let's say, in a TikTok profile. A student may upload only a series of, let's say, dance videos for people to know that he dances gracefully, no? Another TikTok user may curate his or her online presence, showcasing only, let's say, commentaries, no? So that people would know that he's the kind of person who is expert in giving opinions, no? That's personal branding. So, all of us naatay personal branding sa atong mga social media sites, no? Where we have an account with. So, what's your personal brand? Are you the singer type? Are you the dancer type? Are you the pabebe type? No? So, or are you the social media influencer type? Now, the process of creating a digital identity proceeds through the following steps. Siyempre, we begin by self-reflection and goal setting. No? We reflect, we ask ourselves, who are we? Kinsa man ta? What are our what are the aspects? What are the main aspects of our self, or what are our self concepts really? In terms of the physical aspect, spiritual aspect, material aspect, financial aspect, social aspect, no? So the first step in forming a digital identity is to engage in self-reflection, particularly identifying your values, strengths, and goals, no? Particularly strengths. What are your strengths? So if your strength is your face, the person would project or would come up with that particular digital or online presence in a way nga puro pud face iyang ginapakita, no? Or if someone has that thin youthful body, the person also tends to believe na that is his or her strength, and therefore he will curate an online presence that showcases only those aspects of his or herself, no? Of himself or herself. After that, after self-reflection and goal setting, the person builds an online presence. So once an individual has a clear understanding of their personal brand, they can begin to build their online presence by creating profiles and sharing content. And lastly, the maintenance and updating to maintain visibility and relevance, being mindful of the information they share and staying informed and up to date, no? Unsay mga trends, unsay mga uso, etc. Now, what are the challenges now and risks of our digital identity slash identities? So these are the 5 key challenges. There are issues of privacy, also cyberbullying and online harassment, and identity theft and fraud, misinformation and the spread of fake news, and digital addiction and mental health implications. So we will go over these challenges and risks one by one. In terms of privacy concerns, I think we understand that there is a risk of privacy breach, no? Leak of personal data in some social media sites, no? We become vulnerable to data leaks and unauthorized access to our personal information. If you may remember, we have these historic data leaks na I'm sure you have come across. So we have the Facebook Cambridge Analytica data scandal, which began to emerge in the early 2018, and this happened in the USA. And in the Philippines, there was also the Comelec scandal in 2016. So what are these historic data leaks? Kaning Facebook Cambridge Analytica data scandal, ang nahitabo ani, giharvest ang approximately 87 million na giharvest ang ilang personal data ng kaning 87 million, approximately 87 million na Facebook users. Giharvest siya through an app. Okay? So there was a personality quiz app called This Is Your Digital Life. And 'di ba, when we have personality quiz applications in Facebook or wherever, there would be a question, do you allow access to your personal data, etc., etc. So when the users said yes, so kadtong Cambridge Analytica was able to, nakakuha sila data, ni harvest sila data from Facebook and gigamit nila sa pag-build ng psychological profiles for targeted political advertising na naka-influence significantly sa outcome ng 2016 US presidential elections. So medyo control. So 'di ba naapoy mga ing-ana nga issue last time in our presidential elections kadtong kang BBM and Lenny na naapoy mga targeted na mga political advertising in Facebook daw, though I cannot speak for sure, no? Kay wala man tay report na nakuha jud na makatestify ana, pero there were issues, no? But this was a real scandal. Tinuod ni nga naadyoy gi panguha na mga data and gigamit for targeted political advertising. Now, in 2016, there was a data leak scandal that involved 2 hacker groups breaking into and defacing the Comelec's website less than 2 months before the May 2016 elections. It was called Comelec. Kay naay leakage of personal information of over 55 million registered voters. So na leak ang atong names, birthdays, home and email addresses, and even our parents' full names. No? So mauna ang danger na masyak na lang ka na ay mo text sa imo na numbers, or let's say mag-send ng email updating you about something that you did not even subscribe to in the first place. So things like that. Now, in order to mitigate risks of privacy breaches and data leaks, it's essential to be always aware of the privacy settings on every platform that we use and also limit the personal information that we share. So, for example, in my case, no, in my Facebook account, I don't really use my full name and I don't put my birthday information and other contact information. I just put the necessary information or some photos, and photos that are not really clear because we have face recognition technology today and we don't know what Facebook might do with the photos that we have in their site, and also in other social media platforms. And of course, use strong passwords and two-factor authentication wherever possible. When we say two-factor authentication, when you log in to your social media account using a different device, it would prompt you um, another authentication, no? Let's say when you use um a different laptop, different phone, so it would ask you to provide, let's say, a pin, no, that is sent to your personal mobile number as a second authentication aside from passwords. Now, another concern, no, another danger, another challenge that is being faced or that can be faced anytime by our digital identity is cyberbullying and online harassment. And I believe you are no strangers to this. The digital age has also given rise to cyberbullying and online harassment, which can have severe consequences for an individual's mental health and well being. And people who are cyberbullied may experience anxiety, depression, and even suicidal thoughts. No? So, how are these manifested? So, when you say offensive and hurtful messages, no? Maskin sa mga anonymous or mga tao nga wala nimo na meet gani in the first place, that is cyberbullying, that's online harassment, no? Threats of violence or harm. So, 'di ba, it's very common kung naay mga trending na mga topics na naay sa ato murag very quick to say something like uh patyon ko ra kaw, paatngan ko kaw sa inyo unya diha, no? No, or kaning number 7, encouraging self-harm, moingon tag pagpakamatay ra kan, unta na mapatay ra kan kaw. That is cyberbullying, no? Public humiliation, number 6. This is also common, no? Let's say na ay tao nga wala na bayaran sa iyang utang. So iyang i-call out, grabe ka specific ang name and also address. So while na ay karapatan ang tao kay utangan lagi ang isa wala nagbayad, it doesn't give you the right to publicly humiliate the person sa social media. Kay syempre naa may pamaagi, imong adtuon ang tao, imong ipa-blatter, etc. So dili nimo i-publicly humiliate kay naa man tay due process. Okay? So pwede ireklamo sa barangay, dili na ireklamo diha sa social media. Spreading rumors and gossips, exclusion and ostracism, and online stalking and harassment, no? So mag-send kag mga nude photos sa isa ka tao, no? Tapos ang tao is unwilling and um walay consent na gihatag for those lewd photos. That qualifies online harassment. Okay? Now, these are some of the popular victims of cyberbullying in the Philippines, the Gonzaga sisters. So, 'di ba, there were points in time na si Alex Gonzaga and Tony Gonzaga na sila yung mga mistakes na na-share online or nabalita online, and many people were saying a lot of negative comments about them. And that is again cyberbullying. Also Angel Luxin, no? Si Angel Luxin, there was a point in time where she, she gained weight, no? Nitambok siya, and there were a lot of people who were also saying mean things about her. Liza Hope Soberano, when she came out with, with her, with her status updates on her career, and many people, gave support, but there were also people who criticized her, no, who, who highlighted mistakes or gaps in information, or who took her out of context. There are also many LGBTQ plus individuals who are, I would say regular victims of cyberbullying in the Philippines. No, na many people make fun of them, which is okay in some cases, especially when the LGBTQ individual is, presenting um, a comic material. But in some cases, now, for example, news about same-sex marriage, news about appeals for the Soji bill, for example, these people are criticized, no, for being like immoral, etc. Nadine Lustre also, and Maria Ressa. The list goes on, and I believe you can recall as many people as you can, because there are a lot of people who have been cyberbullied, who've been harassed online, and also people who are online harassers and cyberbullies. No? Now, to address this, individuals should take the following steps when you come to a point where you're already the victim of the cyberbully, victim of of online harassment. It's important to not engage. Ayaw pag-reply, ayaw patuli. Okay? You may block or mute the offending users. Do not engage, as I said. Okay? Because we have proper fora. We have proper platforms for that. Also, report any instances of harassment or bullying to the appropriate platform or authorities. And, number 4, always collect evidences. Save screenshots. Speak up also against cyberbullying. So if you notice that someone is being a cyberbully, call that person out, or gently remind the person that what he's doing is already qualified as cyberbullying and he shouldn't be doing that. No, so do that in a gentle manner, and also be educational. Promote kindness and educate yourself, and then reach out for support in case that things become overwhelming. Now, next, identity theft and fraud. Some people, especially cyber criminals, use stolen information to impersonate individuals, access financial accounts, or commit other fraudulent activities. No, so um, there are people who, because it's very easy for anybody to create a Facebook account, for example, posing as someone else, no? So sa Facebook na ay mga account users na kani daw ilang name pero lahi ilang personality sa real life. So okay ra kung it's a new identity, pero kung murag present sila sa ilang Facebook account as someone else, no? Na sila si kani nga tao, tapos i-disclaim ng isa ka real na tao, no? Na for example, mo post ka as Angel Locsin, tapos dili man na kung kang Angel Locsin jud. So that is identity theft and fraud. Especially kung mahimo siyang problematic kung imo na siyang buhaton sa mga fraudulent activities. No? Now, to protect against this identity theft and fraud, it's important na mauna, be cautious, Jud, be careful in sharing personal information online. No? So, it's my belief that I really don't share my full name in Facebook. no, or wherever, so that people would also, have difficulty looking for my Facebook account, no? Use strong, unique passwords, enable two-factor authentication, regularly monitor financial accounts for suspicious activity in case you have financial accounts. For example, you have GCash, you have online banking in your phones. No, I think GCash is very common. So if you have GCash accounts, always monitor if there are people who are already, using your password, using your account details to access your account. Use secure Wi-Fi networks, protect computer and personal devices. Syempre, you should have passwords in your personal devices, and be careful with your emails and links to never click any links that are sent in your emails. For example, an email would say, click me aron makakuha mo og 500 pesos and to be deposited directly to your GCash account. So be careful with that, because I believe you know that GCash will never send you an email, or will never send you a link through your email. Okay. Regarding the use of Wi-Fi networks, only use the secure Wi-Fi networks, because there are cases nga manguha pod o personal data ang mga Wi-Fi networks once you are connected with them, no? So na tip na we use VPN kaning sa paning VPN kaning murag mag-hide ka something from wait lang, let me search sa paganitong VPN. VPN. Mm, okay. Basta VPN. Wait lang. I want to know that. Sige, VPN. Yeah, VPN. Virtual private network. No? So it's an opportunity for you when you are using a VPN, murag mahimong protected ang imong network connection when using public networks. So kana siya. Anyway, you can search more about it. Now, another risk is misinformation and the spread of fake news. And this is something that I want all of you to take seriously. No? Digital identities can be manipulated to spread misinformation and fake news. Social media platforms and other online spaces can serve as echo chambers, amplifying false information and making it difficult to discern truth from falsehood, no? So remember, before you share anything online, be sure to read first the news, no? And also verify the source. Kana. These are tips on how to combat misinformation. Verify the source, reliable ba siya? Recognized ba siya nga news outlet? Cross-check information, fact-check, evaluate the context, investigate the author. So always do that. Check for the credibility of the author and question your own biases. So are you sharing this information because you are, let's say, pro Duterte or pro Lenny or pro BBM? Or you're just sharing this information for educational purposes? So things like that. Okay? Educate yourself. Kani, this is, I think, dapat mauni ang number one. Always educate yourself. Understand. Unsa man ni, unsay pasabot ani, is this true? Be critical all the time. And if you can, report and flag misinformation. Okay? Now, we also have a case of digital addiction, no? The constant connection to the digital world can lead to digital addiction. No, maunang excessive screen time, online gaming, which can already result to sleep disturbances, increased stress levels, and feelings of loneliness and isolation. Now, to maintain a healthy balance, individuals should set limits and boundaries, prioritize essential tasks, create a sleep-friendly environment, engage in physical activity. So do not, let's say, spend your entire weekend with your phone. No, go outside. You may run, you may jog, you may hit the gym, or whatever physical activity that you can think of. Foster in-person connections. So, ayaw mo pag-relyan ng mga relationships nga na build lang online na murag uyab mo sa Facebook lang, uyab mo sa Messenger lang. Go out. Always seek in-person connections and also monitor your health. No? How do you monitor your mental health? Try checking if you still feel good about yourself. That's the first thing. Okay. Begin with your self-esteem. Begin with how you evaluate your self-worth. Do you still feel good about yourself or not? And then you try to examine unsay sources aning negative self-worth. Are you insecure already? Tungod kay daghan kay nakita na mas gwapa, mas ganag lawas, mas dato, mas daghay mga properties, mas daghay mga material possessions online, or you are totally fine, no? So, pero sometimes dili ang tao may mong aware na, no? So mao to na it's important that we go back to our spiritual self, no? You try to do self-reflection, what is really important, what's really valuable, what really matters in your life, no? Try to be present. And if you keep on using your cell phone, if you are having this digital addiction, it can really affect your mental health because it makes you lose touch of, the important values and activities. And syempre, we cannot remove our cell phones, our laptops from our life. So you can always customize your online or digital experience. So I think na sa halos tanang cellphones na you can customize, for example, the notifications in your phone. Na the notifications only come in during, let's say, from 5 in the afternoon to, let's say, 10 in the evening, no? And that you won't be able to receive active notifications from 8 to 5 because you want that during these periods of time you are focused on, let's say, your studies or something else. Now, let's talk about digital literacy briefly and how it is related to digital identity. Digital literacy is your ability to find, evaluate, create, and communicate information using digital technology. So it makes you an effective individual, a competent individual in, navigating your digital identity across different platforms, no? In, let's say, social media and also other aspects of the digital world. So it's important for you to be called digitally literate. You have to have technology literacy. That is, you're able to use different hardware and softwares, let's say basic functions of computer technologies and troubleshooting skills, no? And media literacy, your ability to critically analyze and create media content, including texts, images, videos, and audio. So before you share, let's say, a post in Facebook, before you share um, a news report that you can find, let's say, in TikTok, a commentary, an opinion piece, or a blog in TikTok or in YouTube. When you have media literacy, you're able to criticize and analyze, let's say, the correctness of information, that are present in that particular media, in that particular products, no? And yeah, when it comes to information literacy, that's your ability to locate. no, to find where to find certain information and how to use that information for your purposes, for your own use, no, for your own purposes. And also critical part of information literacy is when you evaluate. That's why it requires critical thinking. Okay. Now, how do we enhance our digital identity? So we develop critical thinking skills. We develop our ability to navigate various online resources and understand online safety and privacy. So dapat jud critical thinker, think before we click. We always hear that expression because it's expected of us that we always question the credibility of sources of information that we see online. And also, we are proficient in using search engines, databases, and other tools. No? So especially now na naanatay kanang artificial intelligence, advances in artificial intelligence, particularly in generative AI, it's important that you know how to evaluate what's being generated by AI or artificial intelligence na mga generative AI tools. No? Also understand online safety and privacy. So you're not meant to call out people, to shame them publicly. You're not meant to become a bully, no? Kay bawal ang bully sa maskin sa physical world, labaw na sa digital world. Okay? And also always remember that there are people really who would take advantage of us online. So be careful of identity theft, phishing, and malware. Now, let's go to related topics. When we speak of digital citizenship, that refers to being responsible and being ethical in your use of technology and the internet. It involves an understanding of unsa may imong rights, unsa may imong responsibilities as, as an active participant of the digital world. So for you to be an active digital citizen or a responsible digital citizen, always remember these good behaviors, good practices. Respectful, empathetic, protecting privacy, acting responsibly, promoting a positive online environment, respecting intellectual property. We should never use information without proper attribution, without proper citation. No, so always attribute or always recognize your source. No, being aware of your digital footprint and practice safe online habits and engaging in civic and social issues. So I'd like to highlight the last one, engaging in civic and social issues. When you are an active digital citizen and you are a digital citizen that has concern for, let's say, the world or your country, you are meant to, you are expected to not turn a blind eye to the various issues that you can see online, no? So for example, na ay mga politiko nga harap-harapan nangurakot tapos naagi balita. And then if you don't say anything, if you are just, ignoring that fact, you are tolerating and you are actually approving the behavior in the process. Okay? So kung magilom-hilom ra ka diha, if you murag kung dili ka mo criticize, it's like you are supporting them already, no? So always participate, always take part, especially, for example, during elections, a critical point in our practice of democracy na we want the right people to be elected in very important positions of the government. It's important that you take part in the conversation so that people would know and that you also know, no? And that na ay mga tao nga mabutang sila sa position na kanang rightful places and rightful pod na mga tao. Okay? Now we have AI here, artificial intelligence technology, which refers to, computer systems and software that can perform tasks that would typically require human intelligence. Ang inclusion ani, we have machine learning, deep learning, language processing, and robotics. So actually ongoing ang development of AI na ay mga AI wars at the moment. It's good tungod kay mapadali atong kinabuhi. There can be personalization and authentication, pero syempre ang danger is na ay mga deep fakes, no? People might be surveying our online behavior, and we become more vulnerable to data breaches, no? Kay dali ra kan man. So kung integrated na ng AI ang Facebook, for example, we just click yes and yes without even reading in some cases. Tapos wala na nato na-realize na ato na di ay gihatag ang permission to the owner of the social media platform to access our account or to access our personal data in the platform, no? Now, the digital divide. Unsa man ang digital divide? It refers to the gap between individuals who have access to ICT and those who do not. So this is relevant especially sa atong lugar, sa atong country na daghan man ang, poor or people who are living below the poverty line. And kita ga-emphasize na kita, for example, we are talking about digital identity, but there are a lot of people out there who could not even maintain a digital identity tungod kay wala man sila access sa internet, wala pud sila proper na mga technologies to do, you know, to have digital identity or to maintain digital identity. So, naay bigger issues ana, and I think in yung you were able to see the issues when, let's say, at the height of the COVID-19 pandemic, there were a lot of people who are saying flexible learning works, flexible learning is working, no? Sige, online class ta, Google Meet ta, Zoom ta dere. But those are statements from people who have the means, no? People who were able to participate because they had the resources. But there were people who didn't have those means, no? Who didn't have the same, privileges as the others. So, dili jud sila maka-participate sa digital space. Okay? So, mahimo siyang mo-increase na hinuon ang gap. Dili lang in terms of poverty, dili lang in terms of economic status. Mahimo na pod siyang mag-create na pod siya gap in information access. So, nga man, let's say, na ay mga daghay tao ignorante kay syempre ang mga pagpangampanya, ang information drive, ang advocacy na alang man sa Facebook or online. So ang walay Facebook ko, di makabalo, di ba? So murag na adjay laong pa ma-behind sa updates kay naa na may increased efforts na ang update ginabuhat na siya sa digital space. Efforts to bridge the digital divide, such as providing affordable internet access and promoting digital literacy, are essential for ensuring that all individuals can fully participate in the digital age and benefit from the opportunities it presents. So we have, I think, the ICT putting up free Wi-Fi networks in public places. So that's an effort of the government to address the digital divide. And lastly, the role of educational institutions. As digital identities become increasingly important in our life, no, it's crucial na ang educational institution mag-play jud siya ng active role in fostering digital identity and also educating students about being a responsible digital citizen, no? By incorporating digital literacy into curricula and providing opportunities for students to explore and develop their digital identity, we can prepare better for the world that's ahead of us. Okay? So that's why we have this as well, no? You have ICT courses, tuluan mo paggamit ng computer. You have other subjects which are requiring you to produce media products, for example, podcast, digital collage, etc., etc. And also this, no, an educational aspect of how to become a responsible digital citizen. And that's it for the lecture. And these are the key takeaways that you may highlight. It's important that we embrace digital literacy, the challenge of becoming competent in navigating our digital identity in digital spaces, and we become good digital citizens. And always remember to protect against privacy breaches and data leaks. So be careful with the information that you share online, and also maintain, strong passwords and other strategies. Also address cyberbullying and online harassment. Stand up against these negative practices. No, never turn a blind eye or never turn a deaf ear. No, when you see cyberbullying and online harassment instances online, and maintain a healthy balance between online and offline activities. So remember, it's still important to have in-person connections rather than entirely digital connections. And that's the chapter on the digital self. And these are the questions for your reflection.